you doing today? We have a very special day because today we are going to compare a lot of cars from 100 to 200 acceleration on the open Autobahn. You probably know that within the last days JP Performance from Germany did an acceleration video of his new 720S, which did an astonishing time of something around 4.5 seconds. And also CarWow of the UK, they recently did some really nice cool acceleration comparisons between a 720S McLaren, a Pista and some other very fast cars, even the Turbo S in the video that they were just uploading this morning. As we are on our way to Hamburg again and we'll be testing a 720S, I want to give you a comparison how fast certain cars are. So actually the first car that we were testing 100-200 is the 718 Cayman GT4, 420 horsepower, of course a car with a manual transmission, so that might reduce the time, but let's see how fast it really goes. You have seen it. The 718 GT4 actually did a very respectful 8.5 seconds. I think regarding that it has a manual transmission, that is a very good time. But let's now see how something like, for example, an Audi RS6 Avant performs against it. Just seen now how the RS6 actually accelerates. We have another 4/10 that we could shave off from 8.5 Cayman GT4 recent model to an RS6. Of course, yeah, the RS6 got 180 horsepower more, but on the other hand, of course, a lot more weight to drag. And you could see that actually the GT4 had a very good performance once being high speed and also on the straight line of Autobahn piece, despite that big rear wing. But nevertheless, we have seen GT4, we have seen RS6. Let's now jump to something really serious. Let's get on with the GT3 RS 9912, so the most recent GT3 model that we could get. You just saw that the GT3 RS does the 100-200 a second faster than an Audi RS6, despite the fact that it has 80 horsepower less and, as said, a huge rear wing, which of course produces drag. You could really see that the 20-inch tires, the 22-inch tires, I'm sorry, of the RS6, they really produce a lot of drag, and you really lose some power with that car on a 100-200, because otherwise you should clearly be a bit faster. Actually 7.5 is the number that an M5 competition does, 100-200, and 7.1 means that the GT3 RS, even on the Autobahn, despite the fact that it's a track-focused car, is faster than an M5 competition. I think that is something very astonishing. But let's now jump onto a car that will be a very interesting comparison, because we will be jumping into our own Audi R8. You probably know that it's not the performance model, but it's the facelifted 570 HP version, which I think isn't too bad, honestly, because it feels very similar from an acceleration perspective to the R8 performance that we also drove. But let's see if our own R8 can be faster than a GT3 RS in a straight line. You just saw now that this car is almost a second faster again than a GT3 RS 100-200, At 6.3, we are only about 0.3, let's say, slower than what the R8 performance model would be, and I think that is very, very respectful considering the fact that it's a lot cheaper in comparison, and yeah, you don't really feel a huge difference also when driving the car. But now, of course, let's get this 570 GT on the Autobahn and see how our 570G now compares to the previously just shown R8 facelift with 570 HP. Same horsepower, but let's see if there's a difference. Something that you've seen now is that we even got some wheel spins within the shifts. It's just simply amazing how the acceleration is and how much more acceleration figures you can get out of this car compared to even our own R8. We managed to get a 5.7 GPS time, which is even 0.3 faster than a performance R8 and 0.6 faster than our own Audi R8 with the same amount of horsepower. I think there you can already see how efficient and how brutal those, let's say, engines and transmissions of McLaren are. I mean, the car is barely run in. We have 3,000 kilometers on the clock, so with better fuel, with more mileage, we will do the test again and we can maybe even get better time. But before we jump into the 720S, let's get some sound, some tunnel sound of this 570 GT. But now we are on the 720S and want to see how fast that one goes. 100 to 200. So guys, simply amazing time again. I mean, it's just unbelievable how fast these 720S goes. 4.6 seconds on the drift box, which is more or less what we did last time, but of course also very similar to what CarWow has tested and also JP Performance. I mean, this 720S is just a monster on the Autobahn, and it's just unbelievable how you can shave another 4 seconds, 100 to 200 off a 718 GT4 was the recent outgoing model. I mean, it's almost 4 seconds faster to 100 to 200 than Audi RS6 as well. That is simply amazing, honestly. We will have a lot more fun with this car on the open country road and do a sound video. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this kind of videos because we want to compare different cars in a very, very similar manner. And please leave us a like or tell us if you want to see something like this more often again in the future.